call this meeting to order. Welcome here, everyone. And at this time, I'd like to give the opening to Councillor Michael Zwaagstra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This upcoming Saturday is Steinbach's annual Pick Up and Walk event. Hundreds of volunteers will meet at the T.G. Smith Arena and then fan out across the city to pick up garbage. If this event goes like it did in previous years, volunteers will pick up about 10 tons of garbage. It would take our city employees many months of full-time labor to duplicate what these volunteers will do in only 3 short hours. That's what happens when you harness the power of volunteerism. For this, we can thank the many churches of our city. Each church is responsible for coordinating its own volunteers and ensuring that they all show up on Saturday. This is no easy task, and yet Pick Up and Walk happens successfully year after year. Government, in this case the city of Steinbach, also plays an important role in 2 specific ways. The first is that city staff coordinates with the event organizers to ensure that volunteers are kept safe while out picking up garbage and that their time is used efficiently. They also arrange to take the garbage to the Steinbach landfill. However, there is another, even more important thing that the city of Steinbach does. It gets out of the way. For example, at no point has the local government tried to commandeer this event or tie it down with onerous rules and regulations, such as insisting that all trucks picking up the garbage must be electric. Nor has it ever attempted to virtue signal by imposing diversity, equity, and inclusion criteria on event participants. In short, Pick Up and Walk is a success because the local government has enough sense to get out of the way and let churches take the lead. The fastest way to kill Pick Up and Walk would be to turn it into a government-led and government-run event. For this event to remain successful, it must be led by volunteers, not by government. One of the biggest mistakes made by all levels of government is they try to do too many things. Politicians might mean well when they create new social programs, pass laws banning offensive speech, impose unrealistic environmental targets that can never be reached, and then hike taxes to pay for all the new programs they just created. But they're just adding to the problem. The reality is that government works best when it does fewer things, not more things. Imagine how much more productive society would be if politicians resolved to stay in their proper lane. For example, instead of creating a brand new dental care program that will cost billions of dollars and potentially lead to the loss of company-sponsored dental plans, use that same money to address excessive surgical wait times. If the government is doing a poor job of running the things it already controls, perhaps placing more things under its control isn't such a good idea. The challenge is that when left to their own devices, governments have a natural tendency to expand. That's because politicians are always looking for ways to take credit for more things, and bureaucrats have an innate need to impose additional rules and regulations on whatever activity they control. It takes a concerted effort to push back against this trend, but it needs to be done. This Saturday, when you observe a sea of yellow-shirted volunteers picking up garbage, be grateful for the efforts of the many volunteers and the church leaders who coordinated them. You can also be thankful that this is one circumstance where the government was wise enough to get out of the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Zwaagstra. I do want to add one thing you did forget. There's also a free lunch out of this one.
There is such a thing as a free lunch.
This
Not provided by the government either.
Council, we have the agenda in front of us, looking for a motion to adopt. Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Hebert. Any comments? No. Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Council, we have the minutes of April 18th, 2023, the regular council meeting. They start on page 1. We've all had a chance to review. Looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Hebert, second by Councillor Penner. Any comments?
No comment.
Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Are there any business arising from the minutes? Okay, seeing none. Council, we have no public hearing today, and It is just a little before 7:40, but I've already talked to our delegation, and he is ready to come early, so as to not chop up our agenda. So I will right now invite our brand-new staff sergeant, Guy Landreville, and take the podium, please, and welcome, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much. Hope everybody can hear me okay now. I just prepared a little document here where you can have a look at is my past postings and roles that I've done in the R.C.M.P. I do it for two reasons, so you guys can have an idea of what I've done in my 35 years. And for me, it helps me with my memory. It's just the older I get a little bit, so yeah, it helps me along. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And we're off to a good start. We have many things, or we can cover many things, or as few things as you would like. With the APP, or annual performance plan, we have pretty much the same objectives and priorities as last year. Under communication, we have the visibility of police that we'd like to maintain, as well as under crime reduction, organized crime we'd like to target as well. Property crimes, break-in and vandalism as well. And finish it all off is traffic, to try to keep those initiatives up and going, if you're all right with that. I looked at the plan myself and went through it, and it looks like a very achievable plan. And like I said, we're off to a good start because I've already have letters here, or some stats emails from my traffic section who have already tackled a little bit of the street racing. I understand it's a big problem here in Steinbach. And on the 14th, I'm just reading from an email from one of my, actually from one of the dedicated traffic members that we were speaking about before. And just before midnight, and the municipal traffic conducted a traffic stop on a BMW and a Ford truck for street racing on Main Street. And both vehicles were observed racing. And they were pulled over, both drivers aged 22 years old. One from Brandon, and the other one from Elma, actually, were charged with racing. They issued fines of $672 each under the Highway Traffic Act. Both drivers got their driver's license suspended for 7 days. The vehicles were towed for 7 days, and they'll have a license review by MPI as well. So like I said, we're off to a very good start. And on the 22nd, conducted a traffic stop on a red Pontiac. 16-year-old was driving carelessly on Main Street, and the vehicle was pulled over, issued again $672 ticket. His license was sent to MPI for review. And on the same day, another incident, 18-year-old was doing donuts in the Solomon parking lot, and my member attended, and with assistance from the public was able to issue another $672 for driving carelessly, and the license is sent to MPI again for review. So I'm very happy. I'm very impressed right off the hop, and my third week, and already the stats speak for themselves. Is there anything you'd like, any questions on the our APP initiatives or goals for this year?
Councillor, are there any questions for Staff Sergeant? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And more of a comment, and then if you want to sort of add more, feel free. And so I'm the chair of the R.C.M.P. Advisory Group, and Mayor Funk serves on that with me. We have a couple community members on it. We're looking forward to our first meeting with you later this month. And I'm very pleased to hear the work that you're doing already in regards to the traffic enforcement issue. I want to affirm what you're saying about this being a priority. This has been an issue for some time. And so I believe you had stated already that we still have that dedicated officer, you know, because we had made that decision to add an extra officer and dedicate that officer to traffic enforcement. And so if you could confirm that the intent is that that's going to continue on because we certainly have our funding in place still for that officer. And so if you could confirm that, and then by all means, keep on catching these racers, give them the maximum. This is not a time for warnings. This has been an issue for a long time. So keep up the good work that's already started.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As well, I have some provincial traffic members who were, their main objective was the, I'm sorry, the term escapes me, but it was the boundary road, I guess, around Winnipeg, or the, where they... Perimeter, yes, thank you. Where they were doing the majority of their work. They were seconded to the perimeter. As of last month, they are now back into the southeast corner of the province and no longer responding to the perimeter. So most of these members will be doing a lot of traffic initiatives in our area. By that I mean the Steinbach area, and are available for suggestions. So if the Friday and the Saturday nights are busy with street racing, they can cooperate with our traffic member and hopefully make a big difference that way. So they're now, which is nice, they're available to us a lot more than they were before.
And just for clarification for all of us, these members that you're speaking of right now, the traffic division, this is paid for by the province. They're just working out of our detachment, correct?
That's right. That's right.
And there is just for, again, just there, I think it was 5 members?
That's right. Right now, 2 are fully operational. We expect a third to be fully operational within the next month. Mm-hmm. And the other 2 might be a few more months until they're able to come back to work.
Okay, and are these all constables or? Is
4 constables and a corporal.
And a corporal, okay. Okay, thank you. Anything further? Go ahead.
Welcome to Steinbach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Looking at your initiatives, again, we agree with them. We've had them the last couple of years. And as usual, the one there, the communication one, is the one that can't be measured, but the other 3 can be measured. So I appreciate that the initiatives are measurable. Question I have for you, the mischief to property has gone way up from 66 to 106.
Yes.
Any idea what's driving that?
I can't tell you right now. I can find out, and we can do a little bit of research on that and see where it's coming from. But I can definitely get an answer for you.
Because I looked at all the stats, they were all pretty comparable to last year and stuff, within 10% or 20%, but this one seemed to be a one-off, so.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
And if you can see the numbers, number 9 and number 10, assault and harassment and threats, and they're down, like in order -5 and -11, which is great to see that. Not that the other ones are not, of a big concern or anything like that, but we can definitely look at that. We'll see as our pro system becomes a little bit more, I guess the term I'm looking for is more specific, and as we go along, a lot more is reported more towards those categories as it was in the past. So that could be a reason for that, but I will definitely get an answer for you.
I also noticed your vehicle thefts are way down, so congratulations.
Thank you.
To the members, you've only been here 3 weeks, I think, but
Yes.
thank you to your members.
I will. Yeah, I will. Thank you.
So question for me, when it comes to traffic, I notice there's a huge increase in ticketing and speeding tickets and so on. Is that due to that extra constable, or is that just that you put that much more effort into it?
As far as I know, yes, as that extra constable. And you're going to continue to see that rise. A lot of the stats will be in our area, and maybe not directly to the city of Steinbach, but you expect that to go even up in the city as well.
So are these numbers in your detachment, or? Are
Oh, no, that's for the city of Steinbach.
City of Steinbach,
Yeah.
okay.
And they will go up because they're always looking for the best areas to enforce to make the biggest difference. And if it's Main Street and stunting and racing as we see, then that's where they'll be.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So one thing that our previous staff sergeant had always emphasized in regards to dealing with the traffic issue was that when people see racing, when they see a problem, they should call it in and report it, because that helps you guys prioritize the times that are the worst and the locations that need more attention. Is that a message that you would say, yes, we should continue doing that? So if the general public, if they see something, they should be reporting it, because that's still valuable information?
Definitely. They can remain anonymous if they want. We understand that sometimes that can be a problem. They can call Crime Stoppers for things like that and just give us an information. Write down as much as they can, a license plate. We can always, if we can't identify the driver, for example, we can always charge the registered owner. And most of the time, sometimes we see that it might be a parent that are not aware of what junior's doing, et cetera. So sometimes that can take care of the problem by itself.
Further to that, is there a number you want that you'd like these calls to go to? A phone number?
I can find it. It would be just our dispatch
Like
number.
the 1234 number?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Or if it's something that's getting out of control, a 911 call as well. If it's putting people's lives at risk, sometimes the racing we see can do that. So I would encourage that as well.
Well, the challenge with the racing is that it's done at the same time as we've got like families with their pets, they're walking down Main Street, they're crossing at the crosswalks, and many of these racers are blowing red lights. And that's why it becomes so dangerous.
Absolutely.
And you understand that, you get that, you're working very, very hard at it, and your members are, and your hands are full. You know, we're a big city, and we've got some city problems, and I thank you for you know, putting your name forward to come here and help us out.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Council, anything further? Okay, thank you very much. We are looking forward to, like Councillor Zwaagstra said, to our first meeting. You'll get to meet the whole advisory group, and we'll start working together on the priorities that are definitely set here. And I think these are priorities that'll work for us too.
Okay.
And so, Council, your consensus on these priorities? Okay, then we'll go forward on these priorities, and we'll keep working together for a safe community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Workstein.
Mr. Mayor, just as a point of recommendation, with those policing priorities as identified, recommendation from administration is that council approve those by a resolution.
Okay. Councillor, we're looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Zwaagstra,
Make the
second
motion
by
we approve.
Councillor Penner. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. These are the priorities that we've had for a number of years now, specifically visibility of police, addressing organized crime, dealing with property crimes, and of course, traffic enforcement. I think it makes sense for us to continue with these priorities, particularly in the light of the additional resources we've put into the traffic issue by hiring an additional officer just over a year ago. And so we should definitely continue with these priorities, and I'm hoping that we can see some good things happening as a result.
Thank you. Anything further, Councillor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's always important to focus in on what we really want to see positive change in, and that's not to say that we disregard the other areas that the R.C.M.P. are involved in enforcing, but these are the major areas that we as council feel the main focus needs to be towards.
Thank you. Anything further of council? Anything closing? No. Yes, council, priorities are important. We have priorities ourselves for our council, and priorities are set with our R.C.M.P. I think these are obtainable and they're measurable, and I think this is something to work forward to, and it'll make our community safer. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay, council, we've got reports and recommendations. We've got 8A. This is the ladder truck purchase approval. It starts on page 6. Mr. Workstein, could you please introduce this file?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of council. In your package, as you mentioned, starting on page 6, there is many pages of backup information that provides details about the proposed ladder truck that has been recommended for council to consider to approve for the purchase. The city's existing ladder truck unit is 34 years old, has served the city well since 2011 as the city bought it used. However, even though fire trucks may not get used that often, it has, or it is quickly reaching the end of its service life, and it is time to replace the existing ladder truck as provided by the information in the package and the recommendation from administration. Recommendation is to approve the purchase of an E1 ladder truck through the AMM-sponsored Sourcewell procurement program for $2,135,475.14, including delivery.
Thank you, Mr. Workington. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Siemens,
Motion to approve.
second by Councillor Hebert. Go ahead, Councillor Siemens.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. $2 million is a lot of money to pay for a fire truck. But we have had a ladder truck that has helped in our community for the last 10 plus years. It has helped fight some major fires and some smaller ones as well, because it allows them to get up above the fire. But so we recommended $2 million for borrowing. Now the price has come up $136,000 higher, and so we need to make a motion for that effect. What should be noted is that it's 26 months to build the new fire truck, and we won't pay for it until we don't have to provide the cash until final delivery, and but we can lock in that price now. So I'm assuming that the way things are going, if we waited, the price would go up again. But it is a valuable piece of equipment that we have at our disposal, and it has been used, and we need it for the buildings we have, the Fernwood Place, the Steinbach Union, especially the manufacturing and Loewen, and some of the other manufacturing outfits to get up if there is ever an incident. We don't want there to be, but if there ever is, then we have the resources. So I make the motion to approve that we expend another $136,000 to make sure that we can get this resource for our community.
Thank you, Councillor Siemens. Anything further?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to add that our existing fire truck being 36 years old has served us long and served us well. So if this one being $2 million, just over $2 million will serve us for the next 35 years, I think it's a pretty good deal. And as costs keep going up, it's a good thing to get this thing in order. So I'm totally in favor.
Thank you. Anything further of council? Anything closing?
No, sir.
Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. We have 8B, the assignment of proceeds from pledge agreements. This is Event Center. It starts on page 37. Mr. Workington, could you please introduce this file?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. In connection with the city's approval for the construction of the event center and stretching back to the original MOU that was approved by City Council in the fall of 2019, administration is presenting this document starting on page 37 of your package. It's referred to as an assignment of proceeds from pledge agreements document. As part of the original MOU that the City of Steinbach entered into in conjunction with, at the time, Southeast Events Center, which has now changed to Southeast Events Group, was the expectation that the funding commitment that was being proposed by SEG was to be secured by a letter of credit or some other acceptable form or document. As administration has worked through this process with representatives from SEG, it was decided to arrive at this assignment of proceeds document, which will achieve similar results and would confirm the commitment of funding from SEG, under which they are securing private donations from the community for the project. As part of the assignment of proceeds document, as a schedule, The original memorandum of understanding is included as a reference, as is an additional updated schedule of details and understandings as the City of Steinbach worked through the evaluation and purchase decision with representatives from SEG. That is shown on Schedule B. With all of that, the recommendation from administration is that council approve entering into this assignment of proceeds document and provide, or at least then authorize administration to complete all necessary documents as required.
Okay, Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Zwaagstra?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll make the approval. I'll make the motion to approve.
Second by Councillor Hebert. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One thing we know for certain is that this project would not be happening in the way it is if it wasn't for the partnership we have with the Southeast Event Center Group. I mean, they have been great to work with, and they're providing a significant portion of the funds, $25.5 million in private contributions. This document here puts it, in written form in terms of making it clear that we are getting that full amount, and there just simply expands upon the letter of understanding that we've already signed between the city and the Southeast Event Center Group. So it certainly makes sense to approve this.
Anything further, Councillor Hebert?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In order for the event center to move forward, this document now outlines the roles of the two parties are involved. It also speaks to liability and it speaks to funding responsibility. So it's a necessity for going forward, and I appreciate the work that went into formulating this document.
Anything further of council? Anything closing? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. We have 8C. This is PTH 12 North, Traffic Signals Coordination. It's been something that's been coming across our desks quite a bit. There's been some talk about it and questions. And council today, Mr. Workendine has a update for us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I do. The official request and referral to administration, I believe, came in the first meeting of January, so it has taken a little bit longer to gather the information in the background. However, I am pleased to report I did have a conversation with the local regional, or the regional manager of Manitoba Transportation Infrastructure, Mr. Ryan Coulter, 2 weeks ago, and he offered an update. And with respect to the traffic signals coordination and adjustments based on the department's review, the review of all of the intersections along PTH 12 North in Steinbach has been completed. And what the department found was that there were several intersections that were found to have programming for the existing signals that for whatever reason had become locked into to certain cycles inappropriately. And as a result, with the maintenance that they conducted, those faults were corrected. They also then considered the actual equipment itself, and they did confirm that some of the technology that's used for at least a couple of the intersections, and I apologize, I don't have specifics as to which ones, but there is some older technology using camera equipment that the department did suggest is due for replacement. However, they couldn't identify as to when that it would be exactly. However, the recognition that this equipment is likely due for review and replacement is encouraging. However, they did indicate overall that with the review of the signal equipment and the switching equipment that was completed, that many of the concerns that have been observed by the public and particularly council members. Improvements should be noted, and just as background, I believe the changes had been completed as of the last week of April. So the new programming has been in place for just over a week. So if you have noticed improvements, then I guess the work was successful, is what I can say. If there are any further concerns, the department also reminds the city and the public, by all means, please contact their department. And if callers wish to contact the city, we can certainly refer them to the proper telephone number that they can contact, or they can call the local MTI office in Steinbach, who can then refer them if there are ongoing concerns.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I have a feeling that if there are ongoing concerns, mostly they're going to call us, right? Because that's kind of how this all started. It was council members were being contacted by people and that saw deficiencies. But I do want to tell a quick story because I do believe they have fixed some of the intersections. The one that we tend to frequent, we were, I think, 6th or 7th vehicle turning left, and we got to go through. And Lori, my wife, she says, "Stop! I think that something happened. It's changed." You know, so it's good. I think now if we can get people moving, because that's the whole idea, is traffic lights are to get people moving and synchronize them so that they can move and move in safety. So if that's happening, and if they're looking at changing the old technology, when it happens, it happens. But if they fix it so it's working better, they'll change it when they can, I guess, or whenever they can either find it in the budget or find time. But that's very positive that they're looking at that and that they will be upgrading the technology. So, Council, is there any comments? Go ahead, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Warkteen, thank you for the work that you've done with MTI. I can personally attest to the fact that it has improved in the last week. And I can go back to my improved driving habits again, and my phone will thank me for stop taking the videos of the malfunctioning lights that were happening at various times. And it'll create a lot more space to take pictures of family, perhaps. It is good, and it is improved. It has improved. We can flow traffic through the hours that I drive, anyways, at various times. And I've also noticed during the day that the traffic does move during the day when I am there. So the only comment that we've had lately, and I don't know if it's changed or not, but we just heard from the mayor, is the left-hand turn onto Penfield. That has been a concern. Whether that has been solved or not, that would be ideal as well. But I think the ones that I have whined about since the first meeting in January, at this point, they've been solved. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything further? Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Warden, for your work you did on that one. And that just makes our community a better place if we can move around freely. Thank you. We'll go to 9, Administration, 9A, Accounts Payable, at the back of the book. We've all had a chance to review. Looking for motion to approve, Councillor Hebert, second by Councillor Penner. Any comment?
No comments.
Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Council, we'll go to 9B. This is bylaw 2224, 330 Loewen Boulevard, Plan of Works, number 2, lift station. We'll be taking first and second reading today. Starts on page 50. Mr. Warkteen, could you please introduce this file?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of council, bylaw 2224 to approve a plan of works is an administrative housekeeping matter. The city's lift station number 2 is present on this particular lot. It is a titled parcel. However, given it has this public infrastructure facility located on it. Recommendation is for our council to approve first and second reading for this bylaw to create this lot and convert it to a plan of works, and so recommended by administration.
Okay, Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Hebert,
Motion to approve.
second by Councillor Zwaagstra. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As indicated by administration, we're updating the title on this lift station. It's more of a formality matter and an administrative item than anything else, so it's fairly straightforward.
Thank you. Anything further?
Councillor Huber convinced me. I have nothing to add.
Anything further of council? Anything in closing? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay, we'll go into second reading. Looking for a motion for second reading. Councillor Hebert, second by Councillor Siemens. Any comments?
No further comments.
Any comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Got 9C, this is bylaw 2025. This is referring to the 2023 Realty and Education Tax Levy. This is first reading. It's on page 54. Mr. Warkentine, could you please introduce this file?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and members of council, bylaw 2225 does initiate the city's required realty and education tax levy bylaw for 2023. There is a schedule which it actually represents the city's 2023 financial plan included along with the proposed bylaw. Overall, the education mill rates that are recommended in the bylaw are as required by both the Hanover School Division and by the province, and the city's municipal mill rate for the year is proposed for a total of 13.7 mills, which is actually a reduction from 2022. Recommendation is that council proceed with first reading of bylaw 2225.
Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Swiggs,
I'll make the motion to approve.
second by Councillor Penner. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This, of course, is our budget that we had approved in principle a few weeks ago, and now that we have all the information, including the information from the school division, we can have official first reading. And so it made sense to approve the budget then. It makes sense to continue approving it now.
Thank you. Anything further?
Nothing further.
Anything further of council? Anything in closing?
Nope.
Council, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. We'll go to 9D. This is bylaw 2226, referring to the 2023 Business Tax Levy. This is also first reading, starts on page 78. Mr. Warkentine, could you please introduce this file?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this tax levy bylaw is with respect to business taxes within the city. The business tax levy for the current year, 2023, is set at 0.5%, which is unchanged from last year. Recommendation is to give this bylaw first reading.
Thank you. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Penner?
Motion to approve.
Second by Councillor Siemens. Go ahead, Councillor Penner.
Yeah, this business tax that we collect, we in turn give it to the Steinbach Chamber of Commerce, which significantly funds them and their initiatives.
Thank you. Anything further, Councillor Simmons? Anything further of council? Anything in closing? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. We've got 9E. This is Steinbach Skimmers, resolution of support. Mr. Warkentine, would you like to introduce this file?
I could. This is a request that has been received from the Steinbach Skimmers. They did attach a grant application. They are seeking provincial funding for some anticipated programming or projects that they are working on. They are requesting council's consideration for a letter of support to complement their application.
Okay, council, they're looking for a resolution of support. Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Hebert. Any comments?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Steinbach Skimmers operate out of the Steinbach Aquatic Center, which is a top-notch aquatic center, and the Skimmers are a great team as well, so it's only fair that they have to get to show off their times up on a nice big scoreboard. Hopefully they get the grant funding.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing further, thank you.
Anything further of council? Anything closing?
Nothing further.
Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Council 9F is very much the same. It's a resolution of support for our curling club. They're also looking for a grant under the Arts, Culture, and Sport in Community program. They want to do a few upgrades and some, just a little bit of housekeeping with their facility. So looking for a resolution of support. Councillor Siemens,
Motion to approve.
second by Councillor Hebert. Any comments?
Just a few comments, Mr. Mayor. This is again a motion to support, to be a cover letter from the city of Steinbach. And they rent our facility, the curling ice, and they want to replace the carpet in there from, it is time after 10 years. And I think what is good about this grant is that they're purchasing junior curling stones. In order to have success in any organization, especially curling, you need to have a strong junior program, so this will help them towards that end.
Thank you.
I'll just add that to see people involved in sport in the community is so valuable, and I think the curling club is one of those associations, so I do support that.
Anything further of council? Anything in closing?
No, sir.
Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Are there any questions of council? Seeing none, we'll move on to correspondence and petitions. 11A, we've got the Steinbach Pistons request for the glass donation. So council, this is a request by the Pistons organization, as they're going to be playing in La Broquerie, and La Broquerie has now, their council has, by resolution, decided that they will also fund some improvements to their arena. And what the Pistons are asking is that we donate the safety glass around the arena, so the rink, because the standards for the MJHL are to have 6 foot and 4 foot safety glass, 4 foot on the side, 6 foot at the ends. And the safety glass in La Broquerie is too low. So it's too low for the MJHL, I guess, specifications. So they're asking us for a letter to donate the glass. And we have been in contact with the municipality, like the La Broquerie municipality, and you can see that they've also have a resolution that they will actually also participate in up to $50,000 for improvements as well. So it's a bit of a partnership between Steinbach and the La Broquerie municipality to house the Pistons and keep them playing hockey. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Penner?
Motion to approve.
Second by Councillor Zwaagstra. Okay, go ahead.
I think this is a really great initiative. First of all, it's really good to repurpose these materials because we wouldn't be able to use them anyways in the new facility, but it's just a really good neighborly gesture, particularly since the Pistons will be playing out of La Broquerie next season. In addition, it says here they are doing some other things like the rubber flooring from their dressing rooms, lockers, cabinetry, and then donate it for future use as well. So I just think it's a goodwill gesture, and it's also, has some economic value for La Broquerie as well, which I think is great.
Anything further?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One of our priorities as a council is regional relationships, and this is a prime example of that. And so La Broquerie is helping us out by providing a place for the Pistons to play over the next year while the main arena is not available. while we are helping them out by making this donation to them. And so this is just a great example of something simple that improves relationships between municipalities. So it's good to have these kinds of partnerships.
Anything further? Anything in closing?
Nothing further.
Okay. Yes, Council, I agree. I think this is a great partnership. It falls right in line with one of our priorities, like we talked. Did you have something to say, Councillor? Or I mean, Mr. Workty?
I think the only thing that I could add is with respect to the glass, there certainly is a value. Just as a comparison, my understanding from information provided to me by staff, typically a set of glass panels and stanchions such as we have at the Centennial Rink, brand new, could range in the neighborhood of $120,000, $130,000. Expectation for the used glass setup such as what is in the Centennial could range anywhere between a value of $35,000 to $65,000, depending on the market and the opportunities. So it was just there for background information for council.
Thank you, Mr. Warney, because that gives us perspective. This is a significant donation when you look at that it could be valued up to $65,000. Plus, there's a lot of rubber matting that, I mean, we're not going to use it again. And if they can repurpose it and have their players walk on the rubber matting and save their skates, and I think it's great. But what I like about this is how it fits in with our priorities that we've set for this term, and I think it's a goodwill gesture for both the Pistons and for the arm of Rotary, and we're working together to provide a place where our communities can meet and watch our favorite team play hockey. Okay. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay. 11B, we've got the St. Rosa Watershed minutes of March 21, 2023. Council, if you'd like to proceed, take it as information. And we've got the 11C, we've got the 2023 Eastern District Municipal Golf Tournament. It's just a notice to save the date. At this time, Council will just take it as information. There's no other business. Looking for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Hebert. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Next council meeting is Tuesday, May 16th, 2023, 7:30 p.m.